Sip of the doctor.
A doctor a day.
Cheers. Hello everyone, and welcome to another bonus episode of Flashback 64. I am Gooey Famed. Gooey Famed? I'm Gooey Infamous. Joined. We'll just keep it in. Joined by McKenna Krebsd.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good.
We're back here doing another patron Q&A. We've both cracked open a can of Diet Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
We got 30 pack today.
30.
A 30 rack.
Isn't it 24?
Was it 24?
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, like double the normal size.
Okay, yeah. I always just think of like those big cases as like
a few days left. Less.
I always think of those big cases of beer, like the 30 rack or whatever. Okay, well that's disappointing to find out that we have less Dr. Pepper.
We're gonna run out a few days earlier than anticipated.
We're not sponsored by Dr. Pepper or anything.
But that would be cool.
Yeah.
But that's my dream sponsor.
I would probably go for it, honestly, if I could. Yeah, we're here. We don't have many questions, but we had a couple new patrons since the last time. So we thought it would be good just to open it up, and because we just in general, we really appreciate anyone who comes and throws $1 our way. Because, as we've said before, it's like we do this on top of all our other things in life. We do our jobs, our other hobbies and things like that. And, we appreciate the support that we can get, even though, we're not pumping out a lot. We're going for quality, I guess, of content over quantity. And so we, I don't know. It's just nice to have everyone's support, and we want to, every time we get a handful of new patrons, we like to open it up, and I think that we're going to keep doing that. Just give you a chance to ask us questions. Also, if you're listening, this is available to the public, but if you are one of our patrons, a lot of them are in our Discord. There's a couple. If you're not in the Discord, I think most people are. If you're not, get in there. We got a special role that we give to our patrons with their own little chat. There's still plenty of
exclusive chat.
Exclusive. Most of our patrons are very awesome and very nice, and they also don't try to just talk in there, because they also like our Discord, and they like to keep it active. So we appreciate that. But there is some chat in there every now and then, and it's fun. I like having people in there. But if you're listening and you're not, get $1. Your name gets to be in gold. You become a superstar. You get to go to Waluigi's Island.
Yeah. It's fun there.
We appreciate that. So we're gonna get into that in a little bit, but just in general, how's it going? How are you?
Good.
We're chilling. It's almost Sunday evening. It's Sunday evening basically, and
feels like it's been a busy month.
Couple
of months.
It's December 3rd. It felt like we've had quite a busy weekend. We just did everything in one day yesterday. But
I just got off of doing 2 midnight shifts a week. Most of the year I do 1, and for about 2 months I did 2, and my non-midnight shifts are at 5 a.m. So it's just like a really weird adjustment, and I was kind of exhausted all the time. And now I'm starting to feel,
normal.
A little more normal, yeah.
Yeah. We're always doing this on top of, you work a lot early mornings, and I work a full-time, just normal, stupid job. Well, I don't want to say horrible, but just your basic job. So we're out here grinding.
Yeah.
But this weekend we had quite a nice weekend, honestly. I'm trying to remember all the things we did yesterday, but we did a lot.
We played Hexen for a while.
We finished up Hexen, which is, going to be our next episode coming out, so look out for that. And
we had some tasty pumpkin cinnamon rolls, which I posted pics of in our Discord.
Another reason to get in our Discord is to see all the food McKenna
We have
made.
a channel devoted to food.
There's some tasty treats in there.
Oh.
Well, we watched. We had a nice double feature. We watched at home. We watched The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and then pretty much right after it was done, we went to the theaters and saw Godzilla -1, which was what'd you think about the movie?
It was good.
It's very good. Yeah,
I haven't seen a lot of Godzilla, but
yeah,
that was really good.
You didn't really watch the last time we watched here.
I don't think I've ever. Yeah, I wasn't. I had never seen like a Japanese Godzilla.
Well, we definitely got to go through. I have a couple good ones in that VHS box set. Maybe we should watch some. I think it's up your alley for sure. Mm-hmm. More than up your alley, I feel like.
Yeah.
And then with you probably heard about the last one, the last big one was the Shin Godzilla. Yeah. By I can't remember the guy's name now. I feel bad, but the Evangelion fella made that one, and that was very good. I actually think I might like that one better still, but this new one had there was a lot of cool elements. Like, I like how they portrayed Godzilla. I liked all the human characters were awesome, I thought.
Yeah, like I think I had basically just seen I've seen bits of like the Matthew Broderick one. Like bits, not a lot of it. And then I think I've seen bits of the like newer American one. I don't know. Is it just called Godzilla?
Godzilla from 2014 or whatever?
Yeah. And then I saw Godzilla versus
Kong,
which was fun, but totally different in tone.
Yeah, a lot of them definitely too. There's been so many eras and whatnot. I'm not really that's more of a former guest Connor. That's one of his areas of expertise. I did chat with Connor. Here, let's get a review from him. He didn't. More emotional, character-centric story. Appreciated the criticisms of nationalism and ideals of dying for your country. Especially when the last one, which I think I preferred, took a much more jingoistic turn. So I pretty much agree with that. And then he did point out, and I kind of felt this way too, that like at the very end where his girlfriend was just like alive, I felt like that was a bit like, okay, but
I was kind of like, there's no way.
The only thing I thought,
especially like, even if she did, she would have been in much worse condition.
She got like blasted.
She's just like,
but also I also felt like the scene where he did like kind of find her.
Spoiler. Kind of big spoiler.
Yeah, well, whatever. It's not honestly, when it happens, it's like the movie could have been over at that point a little bit.
Yeah.
But when he finds her too, like in the middle of the movie, when like Godzilla is going ham, the fact they just found her in this like big fleeing mob was also a bit contrived, I thought. But otherwise, like, I thought it was awesome. Like I said, all the human characters, I got emotional. I like teared up a couple times, especially when it was before they revealed that they like had also put in like a ejecting cockpit, whatever you call that. But when like the guy who
I kind of thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah, when the guy who had like been mad at him was like, when they showed his reaction to like him surviving, like that really hit me. Like that guy had like kind of also forgived him and like moved on or whatever. So I thought it was an awesome movie. I thought Godzilla looked awesome. yeah, so that's been our weekend. It's a rather chill time. Before we go into our questions, we only got a couple, but we do have our game rankings that we've been doing. And since we do these quite frequently, we don't really have many. We only have one new game to sort of add to our list. But as of recording, I already dated this. It's December 3rd when we're recording this, way ahead of time. But we're a couple days into our Doom 64 episode having been released, and the reception to that's been really good. And I thought that was a really good episode. And listening back to it, putting it together, and playing through more Doom and stuff, I've just been thinking about Doom a lot. So this was one I've been sort of thinking about and like wondering how to rank it, I guess, how to put it on our fun factor and vibes rankings. For anyone who's listening doesn't know, we've been giving these scores these game scores out of 5, factoring in the vibes and the fun factor, inspired by our buddy Ryan, Standard Definition Gaming / Red Ring of Life. It's a new account you can follow that's all about Xbox 360 posting, and of course the Blockade Runner podcast. But always gotta give credit where credit is due. Doom 64, McKenna, do you have an idea of, out of 5, the vibes of the game? you looked at me very certain.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I'm gonna give it a 5.
Okay, a 5. I would agree with you. And also, if I'm reading more messages that people have sent me without telling them that I'm going to read it on the podcast, our guest Andrew said, I'm paraphrasing, but he said, for what it's worth, it's if he was ranking it would be 5 out of 5 for him, I think, in all categories. But I think I agree with you with the vibes. I think we talked about it in the episode, but I think it all came together really well. Like, it's right on the cusp of like full 3D gaming. You know, it's not quite like where, like, it is all in 3D, but there's still kind of a mixed, like when we get into later games that come after it, and even in Turok they had 3D models for everything of like the enemies and the guns and stuff. But this like I kind of love the mixed use of like the 3D models and the sprites. I think it all comes together really well, and it like, whether you're playing it, actually it almost has a different vibe whether you're playing it on the remake or on like N64. I think it comes together and like they both look really good, and the lighting and the mood is all really good. What about the fun factor? This is where I was struggling.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I love it. I think it's awesome. And then I was thinking about it like compared to other Doom games, like the original, and I was like, I think I like those a little bit more.
Okay, so you have that, where I'm more comparing it to other games
that we've done.
Yeah.
Well, I guess like maybe Turok is the most comparable.
Of the other Doom. Yeah. That's where I'm thinking that I like this better than Turok.
There's a little bit less to like have to worry about. There's not like there is platforming, but not to the same extent, and it's a little bit more straightforward in that regard. Turok, like, I don't know, I'm kind of torn. So you like it better, and you gave Turok a 4?
Yeah.
So do you think it's a 5 fun factor? Would you say this is more fun than Super Mario 64?
You know, I think it controls better. in
Okay,
for what it does. Like,
Like-
obviously it's not doing as much like you're not doing the platforming and jumping around that you're doing in Mario. So like in its lane, I think it controls really well for the
Okay.
most part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even,
There's
and
not
we're
really
talking
any-
about like on N64, obviously, because once you get the twin stick controls in a remake, it's like
Right.
a whole.
I guess we did like mess around with the controls a lot to get something that was comfortable.
But that's part
But
of the
that-
game allows
yeah,
for it,
yeah.
you know. So you want to give it a 5? I'm not opposed. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5.
All right, sweet. Not what I expected for you're not a first person shooter, you know,
Right.
fan. But I was thinking actually because Ryan actually responded to us about, I made a joke about Hexen or whatever, and he made a comment that was like, you've had boomer shooters on the mind a lot lately. And I really have, because I was starting to think about, we'll get into it more as we progress through the show, but I was thinking about how this is kind of the last era where I was like super on, like, as much as I didn't have Doom 64 or Turok, but I had GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, and I love those. This is kind of the last era where I was sort of like in on first person shooters, I guess. Even though it wasn't my genre of choice, but where I would like really play them and really get into them. There's been some since then that I've gotten into, but I was thinking about the next era. I think the next big explosion comes with Halo.
Mm-hmm.
And I just straight up didn't have an Xbox, and I remember going over to a friend's party, and they were doing a LAN party, and I was like, all right, get in on some Halo, and it was like against a bunch of people who had it and were playing it all the time, and I just got smoked.
Mm-hmm.
And which, you know, happens, but it was sort of like that was my only experience, and then it was like, well, this I'm gonna stick with I don't know, Twilight Princess or whatever. It was, you know, that came a little later, but you know what I mean. So I guess I have been like rediscovering like all these shooters from an era where like I probably would have loved them at the time, and maybe if I had picked up more like and gotten into the genre more when like Halo came out, I might have been someone who was like, I need an Xbox to play Halo, but instead I glommed onto like, you know, Zelda and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Yeah, no, I think I talked about this in the Doom episode, but there's, I guess maybe just there's less like platforming and like up and down to worry about.
Mm-hmm.
So I just feel like more comfortable. Like I like don't like the first person camera, because to me it's not like what first person actually is. It's like if you're holding a camera, you know, a few inches in front of your face and you don't have like your peripheral vision or anything, and it just like feels just like, this isn't first person. This, like, you know, if this is actually first person, I would be able to see what's coming on my left, and like some of like the up and down where it's like, oh, here I have to like manually look up and down. And like in Turok with the platforming, you know, I can't see down when I'm jumping, so I'm just that's another one with like the controls too, like certain things mitigate that, and there's other things beyond just like dual stick that mitigate that in later, like games get better about, even though you don't have that full, like, you know, in real life, you can see, like, you can kind of sense things better. I think modern games do a better job sometimes of like, I shouldn't speak so broadly, but, you know, conveying like that there's things to your right or left or wherever, you know. You eventually get like you know, different types of indicators and radars and things like that, so to try and make up for that sort of thing. I've been kind of stalling because I don't know. I feel like within Doom, but also thinking about Turok, there's like things I like about Turok more. There's things I like about Doom 64 over like the other ones, and I
I don't know. And do I think it's more fun than Wave Race? That's what I'm looking at. Because that would be the next one. You know, what do I do? This is actually really hard. There's not much. I do think, like, I wish that it did have some sort of like multiplayer would be fun.
Yeah.
That's something. I guess Turok doesn't have that either, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I also don't want to, like, just be like handing out 5s left and right, you know. I want to be somewhat. You're
more generous. You're fine. Well, no, we're like equally generous with our 5s, I guess.
We have some games coming up though that I won't be so generous about. So I'll give this a 5. That makes this a perfect. It's not a perfect game actually, but that doesn't matter. It's got great.
It's fun. It's got vibes.
Yes, it's got incredible. So it's a 5 out of 5 for us. Putting it on above Super Mario 64. You hear that? It's a better game than Super Mario 64.
I didn't say it was a better game.
Yeah. You're right. Well, do we think though, what about, is Mario Kart 64 still our top game? We gave them both 5s.
Right.
Should we flip a coin? I feel like Mario Kart 64, I feel like it's an overall better package with the multiplayer and everything. Yeah. Let's keep it at top.
I'll keep it at top.
Okay. So someone's going to see this list and think we're crazy, but yeah, we've got a...
Honestly, I think if you did like a remake of Mario 64 and just like polished up the controls a little bit, it would be like easily.
You just want the camera control.
Probably.
Which I think exists.
Some of the platforming is a little, just a little off, but.
Wow. What would it take to get it to a 5? Well, okay. This is pretty good. I like our list shaping up, and really, yeah, we've got. Okay, for looking at, I've color coded this. We've got 4 blue games, which mean they're at. I was generous. I said if you're at 0.75, I gave you the color coding of the next number up. So we've got 4 of those.
Rounded up.
Yeah, if you're at 0.5, it's that should get rounded up. But I was like, you know what? No, it's not close enough. So we've got 4 blues, 4 greens, which is our 4 territory, 4 yellows, which is in the 3, and 2 orange, which is like, so we've got a nice spread, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think we'll probably have some more. We're going to be filling out some of the mid list with our next games, and this very important list that matters. So, what do you think? What do you think about our list? Is it appropriate?
I think it looks good.
It looks good. Yeah. We'll see what I feel like I can already put the next ones on there, but I don't want to jump ahead of our. I don't want the list to dictate our...
Yeah, I think I know where one of them is going to go.
It's going to be somewhere in here. Can you see this area I'm vaguely gesturing in? Somewhere in there.
Lower.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
The other one's going to be...
High?
I don't know. Higher. Maybe not higher.
Hexen's 5 out of 5. Let's transition over. We got our patron questions. We just got, someone left us 3, so that's nice. That'll keep us busy.
Yeah.
You don't have to, if you're a patron, you don't want to ask a question, that's totally fine too. But
you can also just like ask a random question. You could just, what's your favorite ice cream flavor? It doesn't have to be a thought out thing.
We'll say, just if you're listening in the future. I think people have done that. We'll specify that more. It doesn't have to be about N64. Especially because, and it's totally all right if you want to ask us things about later games that if you want to ask us about Ocarina of Time, we'll talk about it. But, it's also fine if you just want to wait and hear about that stuff when we get to it. So you can, doesn't have to be about N64 necessarily. We've only played a dozen games or so. So, but we should shout out our patrons we got.
Mm.
You want to go ahead and read them?
Yeah.
You're so good at reading them.
All right, we got Minneapolis King, Jeremy Aber, Ben, Andy Spiteri, Infection Form, Golly Rogers, Nico Sylvian, Scurvy Scurvo.
Nice, got the name.
What?
It was a different name before that.
Okay.
We were like, I think that's.
We
anyway,
were
sorry.
like, I think. Adriel Munger, Paul,
Quaid.
and Kai.
And Kai, yeah. Thank you, all of you. We really appreciate it. Hold on, I don't want McKenna to see the questions. We've tried to do this.
Goo knows the questions before.
I don't really.
Oh.
I haven't. I like see them when they comment, and then I try to forget because we could prepare, but that would be.
I don't know them at all before, so.
Yeah. So we've got a couple from Infection Form. So, what are your top 3 favorite N64 official console variants, and which ones do you own? My favorite would be 3, Pokemon Stadium Battle Set, 2, Zelda Gold, and 1, Ice Blue. I have 3 N64s, and sadly, they're all the stock gray.
Ugh.
Well, I've got the ones up here in a laundry basket that my dad got from my grandpa after he cleared his place out. And I don't know if any of them work or not yet, but they're all black N64s. And we have a black one set up. What's that?
Gray?
Or
Black?
gray?
Dark gray?
They're like, I feel like, yeah. They look more black to me, but I guess they're gray, aren't they? Well, the controller is gray.
Yeah.
So, there's a color variant list.
I didn't really own, well, sort of. It was like the family N64, but we had I guess it's still at my parents' house, I think, but it's gray.
I believe Michael, let me know, Michael, my brother, I think had this Pokemon one, the Pikachu one. Am I wrong? I know there was the Pikachu Game Boy. I think maybe he had that one. Wow, these Pikachu ones are crazy.
There's multiple Pikachu.
Yeah,
wow,
well, Pokemon was such a big, I think we sort of answered this before talking about the colors. I've never had a fancy colored one, but I always really liked these clear ones are obviously so sick.
I think that the ice blue, like transparent one, is my favorite.
Ice blue, yeah. Ice blue is probably the best, I think. The jungle green.
That one does look really cool.
Yeah. I think one day it would be cool to own one of these. Mm-hmm. But it's not. It's lower on the list of priorities, obviously.
I'm telling you, Nintendo needs to make Joy-Cons like
the
this.
Clear colors.
They'd be so cool.
That would be awesome. Okay, so let's see. We got a couple more. What do you think of the latest Portal D-Make for N64? Are there any other games you'd like to see ported to the console? Personally, I'd love to see if someone could get Skyrim running on it. Oh, it was just 2 questions from him. Okay. Well, I did see that. I haven't like seen it really in action necessarily, but we want to we're gonna get an EverDrive soon, and I think then we might start experimenting with like all types of things, mods and new types of things like that, so we can have some firsthand experience. I think that's around the corner. That's something that's definitely going to be going down in 2024. Is there any game you think would be cool to see going on N64? Skyrim is pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think it'd
I
be
don't know, the Jack and Daxter.
yeah, Jack and Daxter would be pretty cool. It would be fun to just see it. I like place like various PlayStation games like moved over. Like Resident Evil 4, I think would be cool. Yeah, anything like that. Any sort of like 3D adventure game would be pretty cool, I think.
Yeah.
A game that Jack and Daxter is a game that feels like it would fit
Mm-hmm.
on N64. Yeah, those are pretty cool. Skyrim would be pretty cool. Oh my goodness.
Oh jeez.
This is kind of an example. Well, you know, it's not a bad question, but Ben says top 5 N64 games, and we you know, we're still working our way through, so we haven't fully what's the word? You know, we don't have the full context yet. And you haven't even played too many.
Yeah.
I can definitely say you know, I wish I had we did a ranking over on Corey's podcast a long time ago, the Player Power podcast. I came on and we I'm never gonna find this. We did the we each, and I brought a list. We made a list of our best N64 games.
Mm-hmm.
And we each brought our own individual lists. But I can't quite remember what like mine was, and we kind of combined them all. But it goes without saying, probably for both of us, that the Zelda games are on there.
Yep.
For me, I had Perfect Dark on there. That's definitely one of my favorites. Mario 64 would probably be on. Well, now at this point too.
Mario Kart 64.
Doom 64.
Yeah.
Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, I would have up there. Are there
Blastcore?
Blastcore? Okay. Are there ones we haven't covered that are coming in the
What?
future? Like, I think we've probably talked about some. But
1080.
Like 1080.
Listen, I have a limited pool.
What have you played? Like, what about the Pokemon games that are on N64? Have you played
I
them?
never owned them. I saw friends play them. They looked cool.
Okay.
I think I don't know if it was Stadium 1 or 2. I'm not sure which one it was, but it looked cool. I'll probably enjoy those.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun for sure. I'm excited to get your reaction to them. So yeah, this is a hard one because it's like we're still working our way through. But those ones we mentioned, and yeah, if you're following along, we are compiling this list. I guess I could say our top 5 currently is Wave Race 64, Turok, Dinosaur Hunter, Super Mario 64, Doom 64, and Mario Kart 64. Those are all games I would stand behind as great games for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
All right. And here's our final question. Minneapolis King. This is fun. Actually, this is kind of a similar question.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, here's some more suggestions then. What's a modern game that you think would be fun to have in an N64 graphics theme, such as Tears of the Kingdom 64, which we saw the trailer.
Somebody made a trailer in Nintendo 64 graphics that looks really cool.
Metroid Dread 64, which I've seen out there, like people have made like Metroid 64 models, you know. Is there even a game out there? And actually, let's look that up, because that would actually, if there was a mod or something that someone had made, that would be cool. But like I actually think Metroid here, there we go, fan project. Doesn't that look sick? People at home can't see, but I think Metroid, yeah, that would be awesome. I honestly think I think that could work. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen I think it was it called, well, Mega Man 64? Was it called that? Or yeah, like that's kind of a that could be kind of a blueprint for a Metroid style game. Like if you're looking at the, you're someone running around with a little arm cannon, it fits. And Call of Duty 64. That's maybe the least interesting for me, but yeah. So I could think of some other ones. I think Minecraft would be fun to see.
Yeah,
at 64. I think you could
polygons instead of cubes.
Yeah. I'd be cool to see something like Elden Ring. I remember there's the, I don't know if you've seen the Bloodborne PS1 remake out there.
Mm-mm.
But someone did Bloodborne on PS1 and that looked pretty cool. So I think like that sort of style, like Elden Ring.
Should be like an Alien game.
Alien? Yeah. Just in general, yeah. It'd be like the Mummy Demastered or whatever. What's yeah, I think those would be pretty cool. I'm trying to think of other modern games that I like.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been playing a lot of I play a lot of 2D games.
Like games that they just wouldn't have done because they're like, we need 3D.
Like trying to, yeah.
I think it'd be fun. Like
something.
It's not that far off of like Final Fantasy VII or something like that. A game that like they purposely put it on the other console. Would be cool.
Maybe like this is more of like more back to the like ports, like Fable. Get like Fable on Nintendo 64.
Fable would be cool.
I just thought of that because one of the 2D games I've been playing this year is Kinseed, which is from some of the former Fable developers. They created their own indie studio.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
And it's like a life sim RPG.
Something like that would be pretty tight, yeah. Assassin's Creed would be tight. I'm sure like there's gotta be things like that exist too, right? Like once we have EverDrive in hand and we figure out how to do it, like we'll probably go a little nuts on just experimenting different things, once we figure that out. So in fact, we'll probably have some place where maybe people can tell us what are the ones we should check out. Whether it's I've seen, people make just new Mario 64 style levels, things like that, or whether it's that, or whether it's a new game that they've made or whatever. I'm excited to try out things like that. So thank you to all our new patrons who've signed up. It really it helps us out that you show your support. We've got, if you want to go over to patreon.com/flashback64, you can sign up for $1. Like I said, you can come over in our Discord. We got a special role. We occasionally do these type of Q&As where you can ask us questions if you want to hear more from us. We got merch out there. If you want to support us, you can go find our merch over on Etsy. We got some shirts. Oh, we got to get pins.
Pins, yeah.
We're gonna get those up soon. Otherwise, you want to promote anything?
Yeah, you can find my YouTube channel, Harvest Gamer McLiz. It's been less active in the past couple months just due to my schedule, but hoping to be more active in the coming months.
Yeah. It's about quality.
I don't know
over quantity.
Yeah, I don't know when this episode's gonna come out, but I'm
couple weeks from now.
So this should be out, the best Zelda ever on Zelda Dungeon. I'm gonna do video on my channel where I share my Zelda ranking.
Oh, okay.
While I play through
What is
Super
it?
Dungeon Maker. It'll be I've done a couple of these videos already, but Super Dungeon Maker is like a basically like Mario Maker but with Zelda type dungeons, and I've been playing dungeons that are like replicas of some Zelda ones. Right now I'm doing some Zelda 1 dungeons.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished playing that today. the actual Zelda 1. Wrapped that up on my channel. If you're looking for more Zelda content over at Gooey Fame on YouTube. And keep an eye out over on Zelda Dungeons YouTube, which we do stuff for. We'll have some stuff there. I'll have some stuff on Gooey's Dungeon Dive pertaining to Twilight Princess coming up. Don't want to give too much away for that though. But follow us over on Blue Sky. You can find Flashback 64 there. McKenna's there too.
Yeah.
We got all the social medias that are worth it. I don't know. But Blue Sky is where if
you can find Flashback, you can find
Google
the other
Flashback 64 podcast and click on whatever suits your fancy.
Yeah.
You can find us there. But yeah, I mainly hang out podcast wise on the Blue Sky and Discord. Those are the two best places I think to catch us. So yeah. Anyway, it was a good episode. And thanks for your questions. We will see everybody. Well, you'll see us soon because we've got some great episodes coming up on Hexen, War Gods, Star Fox. It's gonna be a great 2024. Honestly, we're recording this early December, but we're wrapping up the end of the year. 2024 is gonna be great. Maybe I don't know if we don't have anything to wrap up this year though. Because we already kind of talked about 1996.
Our timeline is a little... Our timeline apparently works with the Game Awards announcements, though.
It does, yeah. We're not in the 2023... We're not in the modern timeline, and our timeline's going to get out of whack as multiple games are released in a month. So it's hard... I guess in the bonus episodes is where you're going to see more of the seasonal things, but we don't really have anything for the holidays. But who cares? We hope
happy holidays.
Happy holidays. If you're listening whenever this is, get ready for Hexen War Gods on New Year's Day. That's coming. That's festive, right? And hope everyone has a great holiday season, and we'll see you in 2024.
Bye.
Bye.